The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good Monday morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien, coming to you live from TFNN. 9:06 a.m., 24 minutes to go until the start of trading, and we have markets in the red, giving up the overnight gains. We're as high as almost right at 6,800 on the dot, 6801.25, and just like that, we've given up 57 S&P points. Yeah, we were higher by about 45 points. No, we opened the market right now, as in about, coming into that opening bell, negative by 12 points or 0.2% in the S&P's NASDAQ 100. We're negative by about 0.2 as well, negative by 48 points. Take a look at the NASDAQ 100. 4 a.m., yeah, about 300 points higher. That's more than a 1% decline since about 4 a.m. Eastern Time. Dow right now off by a similar 0.2%, off 75 points, 47,154. And you got the Russell, negative by 7, 2388. We jump over to Bitcoin. We'll talk a little bit of crypto this hour. 93,900. You're back to prices that we were trading at, folks. The week of August 11th of last year. Yeah, over a year of gains. Now, you look at the acceleration Bitcoin had from the election, okay? Yeah, that was a 70,000 run. We're still at 93. There was a lot built in. The market was not accelerating there. Crypto really accelerated, but boy, watch out in crypto, man. The altcoins, the most volatile, getting hammered. Okay, we got MicroStrategy out there. We're going to talk some crypto this hour. Crude right now, up by about 5 pennies, 60.14 for crude. You jump over to gold, continuing the decline with gold off by $25. Quite a week last week. Thursday from 42.50 down to 40.50. Well, even lower than that, right? Lows in that range, but 40.32. And this morning we're down by $24. Overnight lows in gold at about midnight, 4,051.10, and we just bounced from that area, 4,069. Gold off by $25. Silver off by 31 cents, trading at $50.37. That was an all-time high in silver last week of 54.41. We jump over to yields. Yields, talk about some volatility on Friday. 113.04, 112.12. Right now we're up by 3 ticks. We got a 10-year yield, down 1 basis point, 4.14. Okay, 4.14, the yield on the 10-year. We jump over the dollar. 99.46. We take a look at the daily on the dollar as we were just above 100 the last couple of weeks, and we've pushed lower. We're catching a little bit of a lift right now. 99.46 right now. And yeah, feels great to be back. Appreciate my man Basil Chapman filling in a couple times while I was gone. I was up in Boston. Good old Beantown, and always miss that amazing city. Got some great weather. It's my grandmother's 89th birthday. Tommy's great-grandmother, 89. She's doing well. We had all the family over there. Great time. Saw all my friends as well while I was up there, and flew back last night. Hey, the airports are alive and well, man. Everything went pretty seamless. I flew out Thursday morning and flew back last night without a hitch across the board, and everything seems to be going well. As we know, government back open, airlines flying, but feels good to be back. And yeah, we'll dive right into it. All right. Now, let's kick it off with the Fed, okay? And you talk about it. We got a lot to talk about, but right away, you're talking about that December 10th meeting, folks? We're down to 43%, the chance that they're going to cut. A month ago, that was a 94% chance they were going to cut. Talk about getting over your skis, and the market has shifted to higher yield as we come in. But yeah, we're now at a 43% chance that the Fed's going to cut at that December 10th meeting, and a 57% chance that they stay the course as the market marches on. All right, let's talk a little bit of Google and a little bit of Buffett, all right? So Buffett steps into Google. Now, he's a value investor, okay? And I'm trying to look at it from that lens, and that's the lens I encourage you to look at it, okay? And Google's higher in the pre-market by about $10. We'll pull it up. Buffett, $4.3 billion. Now, folks, he's got like $360 billion. It's 1% of his cash, okay? It is 1% of his cash that he's saying, you know what? I think he's probably looking at Gemini, right? He's looking at the deals going on. He's looking at the deals going on, of course, with AI. And he's saying, yeah, I'm going to spend 1% of my cash, and we'll pull up Google in a moment. But that's a value play, and that's the way I try and look at it. But the stock, 25.5 times next year's earnings. Microsoft's at 32, Broadcom's at 51, Nvidia's at 42. So in that perspective, maybe there is some value, and that's what Buffett's seeing. But this morning, there's your pre-market action. Accelerates to 296.87, and no, the market sells it off, as even Buffett can't save it. Well, we're going to open in positive territory. Market slightly in the red right now. We take a look at Google. They smash it on their last earnings. You accelerate up to a high of about 292. 291.93 was the high there following their earnings. You just got above that on lighter volume. Okay, and now we sell off a bit. You're going to spike, and we're going to open at about 285. On Google shares, we take a look at the weekly volume. It's been quite a run, man. It is pretty remarkable. Buffett had all that cash, and he didn't step in front of anything in April, and he steps in now. Take a look at the monthly. I was talking about this weekend even with some friends and saying this is where Buffett decides to value invest into Google. But hey, Google is a very strong equity right now. Gemini, and AI in focus. And yeah, they are printing cash and they are spending cash, but they are one of the leaders, to put it lightly. Now, we go from Google to NVIDIA. The news was out there last week that Masayoshi-san sold all his NVIDIA, okay, and now it comes out that Peter Thiel sold all his NVIDIA. Folks, pay attention, okay? They're not giving away free money. 537,000 shares, about $100 million, okay? Thiel Macro LLC sold off the holdings during the third quarter. And yeah, they're all a little worried with NVIDIA pushing that mark, and they talk about SoftBank sold off their shares. That was $5.83 billion. Thiel, $100 million, but nonetheless. All right. A little bit worrisome when you see smart minds exiting for other opportunities when they see the probability that you're going to get an acceleration higher. The risk reward is what you look at in something like that, right? We trade higher the week of October 27th on NVIDIA. You make highs of 212.19. You do it on 1.1 billion shares. And the last 2 weeks, we've traded lower on lighter volume. Let's zoom in a little bit on this run. It's lighter than the highs, but it's decent volume on this selling. Okay, and this candle, that was quite an engulfing of the prior week when you made those all-time highs. So keep the spikes up on NVIDIA. As we get some action, to put it lightly, well, we jump over to gold. Take a look at gold with some volume. Now, gold, folks. All right. Look at this selling. Okay, it ramped up last week. That's the daily. We'll talk about gold when we come back, folks. Stay tuned. We got the S&Ps right now. Negative by 17. Markets accelerating lower. We got a lot to talk about. Good to be back. I'm coming right back, folks. If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento. A pro's pro with over 50 years of experience, Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible to most people. They think it's too volatile and risky. Most people aren't going to take the time to educate themselves on how to do it right. But you're not most people, are you? At TFNN, you'll get the guidance you need to refine your strategies and techniques to invest like a pro. Because you'll be a pro. All TFNN subscriptions, books, software, and courses are available at TFNN.com. And I'm even going to tell you how to get them for less. Use TFNN's Tiger Dollars and you'll get up to a 20% bonus on your purchase. And once you apply them to your account, Tiger Dollars are automatically used for all future or recurring charges. Tiger Dollars also never expire, are fully transferable, and are a great way to add savings to your newsletters or services. Become the investor you were born to be at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den, hosted at Discord. TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This portion of the Morning Market Kickoff is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Welcome back, folks. We got about 10 minutes to go until the opening bell. You got Bitcoin right now down $50 on the session. But yeah, we give up all the gains. We're back to a November 11th pricing, $94,315 with Bitcoin. And we jump around for a couple stories. And let's talk a little bit of MicroStrategy first. So Bitcoin, of course, giving up the gains. Okay, Bitcoin right now is at 94,000. 94,000 is essentially the spike high the week of November 11th. Okay. MicroStrategy, or strategy as it's called now, okay, the week of November 11th, it had a high of 383, folks, okay? Bitcoin peaked out at 94,000 and MicroStrategy peaked out at 380. Well, guess what? You just lost 50% of your money from that same price, as in MicroStrategy is now pushing 196, okay, and you are back at prices that we traded at in March of 2024. How about that one? Okay? You better be careful. I'm saying you, but yeah, you better believe that there are some very large risks going on in this market right now. Now, at that time, Bitcoin was trading at about 73,000, the highs from March of 2024. MicroStrategy, the ultimate leverage in crypto. But boy, you break below this level. What's next? Technically speaking, $100 is the next spot. That's it. We chopped around. That's your consolidation area. Okay. You had a nice volume run up to that area in terms of the highs of March of 2024 when you reached $200. How's that for a nice round number, our man Basil Chapman? 200 on the dot to the penny. and we check out the volume, okay, that is pronounced selling all the way down, folks, okay? There is no pullback on lighter volume. If anything, it accelerated the last couple weeks with two large bars of almost 68 million shares and then more than 68 million shares from MicroStrategy. And the thing you have to understand about this business, folks, listen, you want crypto, get some crypto, all right? You want exposure to Bitcoin on a longer-term basis, go get some Bitcoin. I would not encourage you to get some MicroStrategy. You're trading intraday, something like that, swing trading, I get it. But holding this equity, I don't think that many people understand the magnificent pullback that you may have if Bitcoin has a real pullback, and we're getting a real pullback, folks, okay? But this is their only business model. They're not going to stop. They're not timing the market. That's what, so we're traders, and I had to go through this myself, right? We're traders, we're investors. They're not here to time the market. Now, yes, they bought almost $1 billion in Bitcoin in the 7 days ended Sunday, okay? But folks, look at the 7 days. 7 days, this equity just went down 20% alone, okay? But yes, total holdings, $61.7 billion. Now, jump over to the Analyze tab. The market cap's only $56 billion, folks. They hold $61 billion. Market cap's only $56 billion. Okay? Yeah. They appeared to finance the majority of the purchases with proceeds of a euro-dominated preferred offering that closed last week. Big week, is Mr. Saylor putting it. Yeah, the latest drop pushed firms like Strategy closer to the value of their Bitcoin reserves, revealing how quickly these stocks can behave like leveraged bets with limited protection on the downside. It shouldn't take this type of action to at least reveal, okay, how quickly these stocks can behave like leveraged bets. They're leveraged bets. Why would it take something like this to reveal it? Be careful if you're trading these equities, folks, okay? Their MNAV, right, which is basically comparing the firm's market capitalization to the value of the Bitcoin, it was at 2.5. Folks, I just told you the market cap's 56 billion. They just said they have 61 billion in Bitcoin. It's under 1. It's no premium. It's a negative. Okay? Yeah. So you're getting all the volume sucked out of that equity all at once. Now we jump over to, you want even more action? You don't think that MicroStrategy's enough? People love the altcoins, right? The digital assets 100 small cap index fell to its lowest level since November of 2020. So everyone's paying attention to Bitcoin, which has pulled back and given up the market gains for the year. But everywhere else, it's much worse. That's just what I wanted to stress, okay? And I won't beat that dead horse. But yeah, everything is much worse than actually Bitcoin. Bitcoin's probably the leader that you're not getting all the attention you'd get if it was elsewhere, right? As in if it wasn't. Back this up on a weekly. You're talking about Ethereum. That's back to February of 2024 prices, okay? Bitcoin's given up the yearly gains. Meanwhile, Ethereum, okay, after running from 1,300 to 4,800, is now down to 3,100, and you have all the S coins, without dropping the vulgarity on an early Monday morning. Yeah, back to pre-pandemic levels. The black one is that number. Now, things went haywire for these equities in particular, these digital assets, okay? So, MicroStrategy, be careful on that MicroStrategy, folks, because it's a leverage bet. And you're in a leverage bet in the most volatile asset that we've seen in a long time. digital assets, which are actually meaningless unless you find somebody else that buys it from you at a higher price than you paid them. And what I always don't quite understand, okay, and this is the one that I walk myself through. Bitcoin is here forever, okay? It is a tremendous way to transact online, right? Whether you talked about sending money, paying for goods, etc. The one thing that's very difficult in this, though, is that why does Bitcoin need to be at 100,000 versus 10,000 when you don't need a Bitcoin to actually do anything, okay? You can process Bitcoin in 1/1,000,000th of a Bitcoin, 1/10,000,000th of a Bitcoin. So even though it has great use for practical use, it does have practical use. But in what sense is it an arbitrary value that's based on almost on nothing underlying? Now you can say, well, the dollar is based on just what somebody else is going to pay for that dollar for goods, etc., and that's true. But we're seeing the risks coming to roost this morning and recently. And yeah, you now got MicroStrategy trading at a negative premium from a premium of 2.5. That company's worth less than what their Bitcoin is right now. If that doesn't give you a little bit of worry, folks, it should. All right, we're coming back. We're talking equities, folks. We got the markets in the red. We're coming back for the opening bell. Stay tuned.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstack releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks, in MicroStrategy. We kick it off down in $135, and I can't help but bring up the past, okay? Now, if you're unfamiliar, folks, okay, this is not Michael Saylor, who was running strategy, okay, his first foray into a fantastical experience when it comes to markets, okay? Back in the 2000 dot-com bubble, MicroStrategy, yeah, it plunged 62%, okay, after they admitted that their 1999 revenues were 25% less than claimed. Its 1999 profit, no, it was actually a loss. Okay, this article is from 2000 we're talking about right here, okay? And he lost $6 billion in a single morning. I think he had like 2/3 of his wealth tied up there, okay? He owned 56% of the company, and he had seen $10 billion, or 2/3 of his paper fortune, disappear since the stock peaked 2 weeks ago, okay? And you can dig it up yourself if you'd like to, but the point being is, you don't think he's familiar with leverage? You don't think he's familiar with pushing the limits? Folks, this guy was running a company that collapsed in the dot-com bubble, okay, because they were bringing forward revenue. Yeah, accounting mistakes is how they put it, okay? They settled with the SEC. All right, here's the SEC right here. I'll post this one in the Tiger's Den, sec.gov. There it is, December of 2000, right there, okay? $10 million in disgorgement, $1 million in penalties. Of that $10 million, 8.2 was Saylor. 8.2 alone was Saylor, okay? It intended to restate the financial results for fiscal years 98 and 99. Dropped more than 60%. It went from $2.60 a share to close at $86 per share on my birthday, March 20th, 2000. Yeah. And they also, by then, stated they're going to restate 97. So the point being, folks, they are a financial engineered company of leverage. And you better be aware of who is running that company and the risks. It was a great question. You think he's nervous, JK? You think he was nervous when he was running that game back in 2000? Yeah, I'm sure he was. But you run the game until you can't. And he found quite the new game, and he ran it up. And now we're seeing where you're actually at a negative. Pretty remarkable, right? I will post that link just to check out that SEC one. And listen, they said in there they agreed to no wrongdoing or something like that, of course, right? I have to say, of course. You overstate the company's revenues. I mean, everybody just gets hammered. And somehow, okay, and where is it? Because it is, in fairness to them, without admitting or denying the charges. All right? It was just a simple mistake, folks. Okay? That's literally what it says. Just a simple mistake. We restated all of our earnings. We actually lost money when we told you we made money, right? The stock's going to zero. Okay? We're going to restate actually even 1997, 1998, 1999 numbers. Okay? The company went IPO in 1998, folks. Okay? Yeah. They materially overstated their revenues from software and services, right? The company's, premature recognition of revenue, as we all know, okay? They were recording revenue in the future that wasn't real, and the stock collapsed. Google, you're up by 4.4%. Buffett takes a stake. And you're pushing the highs for Google. We hit the highs last week, 290, 236. We're trading at 289. Let's take a look at gold. So gold on a weekly basis, okay, you make the highs with volume. You pull back on lighter volume again the week of October 27th. We get a nice little bounce last week, but you give up most of that bounce, and boy, we got some selling. You're down by $21 right now. And Thursday and Friday, ramping up the selling. Friday's volume, 332,000 contracts in gold. That was the biggest volume day. Since October 22nd, almost a month ago, when we got that sell-off. So what happens? October 21st, 524,000 contracts. You do 457 on October 22nd. And that selling from Friday was the most volume we had since then. And look at markets catching a little bit of a bid right now. S&P's down by 5. Look at the NASDAQ in positive territory. Amazon shares were down by 80 pennies. Down by about 0.3%, 233.88. You jump over to Ford, down by 0.3%. The reason why I bring up those two is that Ford's partnering with Amazon. Yeah, for dealers to sell used vehicles online. They're coming for you, CarMax, Carvana. Franchise dealers will be able to sell certified pre-owned vehicles through Amazon. How about it, man? Okay, customers secure financing, start paperwork, and schedule a pickup time for vehicles at participating Ford dealers. Pretty remarkable. Comes a year after Amazon said it would allow auto dealers to sell cars through its site, starting with vehicles from South Korean maker Hyundai. But yeah, you're going to be able to sell your car. So certified pre-owned. 160 of the roughly 2,900 U.S. retailers have raised their hands and started the process with Amazon. They got 12 on board so far and 10 more launching next week. Well, how far are they going to get to 2,900? Yeah, Ford certified pre-owned vehicles. You're going to be shopping for cars on Amazon. You're going to be able to pick it up at your local Ford dealer. Now, folks, if it's a certified pre-owned vehicle, all you're going to get is a 14-day or $1,000 money-back guarantee. 3 certified pre-owned certification levels of vehicles with variant warranty coverages. That's going to be the kicker. Boy, can you imagine the wild frontier of online sales where you're going to be buying cars now with 3 levels of certified pre-owned coming at you. All right, we jump to some of the other equities moving this morning. You got Alibaba. They reveal their new app for AI, their ChatGPT-like AI application in China. Qwen app, Qwen is their app. You're up by 4% right now, 159. We take a look at this thing on a weekly basis. Yeah, we backed off on lighter volume, except we had some real selling last week. You take a look at the daily on Alibaba. Oof. Friday was something, man. Take a look at the airlines. As all flight restrictions are lifted, Delta down by about 0.5% right now. American Airlines down by 0.2%. United down by 1%. You jump over to JetBlue, down by 1.1. I'll tell you, folks, I flew JetBlue. And it was a perfect experience. It was. Went well, both flights on time. Great experience all around. But boy, this equity, cannot find a bid, man. Look at this thing. Got lows out here of 2023 of 342, 334 earlier in the year. And we got selling with volume on their earnings recently. JetBlue down by 1.3%. We'll come back. We'll take a look at some of the Magnificent 7 stocks. We'll come right back, folks.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direction.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direction.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Stack up by 69 points right now, trading up by 0.3%. And yeah, quite the acceleration on the opening bell. We get a little bit of a bid. You do it with volume. And we're trading higher right now. Up 81 points. We jump around to some of the Magnificent Seven. NVIDIA shares down by 1.2% right now. We jump over to Amazon. We're trading down by 0.9%. We jump over to Google shares. Whoop. Come on, computer, catch up. Google helping this market. Look at that acceleration, right? Up $7 from the open. You're up by 5.7%. Buffett steps in with about 1% of his cash portfolio. So he is still being very skeptical, folks, but he's just probably trying to dabble a bit in this market and picking one of the leaders that he sees, even at a price tag that's double what it was trading at in April. But nonetheless, I mean, he's looking at earnings. And this company, compared to the future earnings of some of its competitors, on a value basis, actually a little bit cheaper, which is remarkable when you're talking about 25 times future earnings versus some of the numbers of their competitors. All right, we got a question in the Tiger's Den talking about Lumen, L-U-M-N. Okay, and yeah, we got a little bit of pullback going on. So this equity, 2024, you start the acceleration, you make highs of 1033, you get just above that level, you accelerate higher on October 27th, the week of, up to a high of 1132. You do that with 238 million on their numbers. You get above it on lighter volume, but the good thing on this equity is that, man, that was some light selling last week. Okay, now we jump into the daily. And yeah, you got volume. October 29th, you ramp up, and that's light volume on the sell-off. Okay, so I like the action. I do. Now, you just traded from 12 bucks to 8. This equity's down 33% from where we were trading at 14 days ago. Okay, so anytime I say I like the action on this equity, but it's down 33% in a period of where this was trading at days ago, all I encourage you to do if you're getting in there, JK, on this pullback is just set a stop, man. Set it tight, pick a price tag, and this is almost the price tag I like. You know, you're trading into this bar. Okay, the high of this bar from August of last year is 783. Now, that bar goes all the way down to 251. You get into that bar, it's all fair game. So maybe you get in there, maybe you put a stop right above that level or give yourself a few pennies into that action. But we're below the volume from October 27th, but that was a light volume pullback on a weekly. You check out the daily, and what's always remarkable is the highest volume day on the pullback, was 23.7 million shares, and I'm just taking this volume from November 5th, which is basically when we had the highs, to Friday. So again, the highest volume day there was 23.7 million shares on November 12th. Yeah. And meanwhile, we did more volume than 23.7 million shares for 9 straight days trading to the highs. 9 straight days. Okay? And then what happens? The volume dries up and it pulls back a bit. And realistically, where's a nice test? Right there. All that high volume. Now, can it trade down to $6? Yeah, you better believe it can. Okay, it closed out that week at $5.57. But doesn't mean you can't trade it again. And I kind of like that you're bumping up against this action from August of 2024. Let's go a little bit longer term and look at the monthly. And that's where things can get a little worrisome, though. And that's why I'd keep my stops tight in this one. But on a monthly basis, this looks like it's breaking out of its channel. So I think you might be onto something here, JK. I do. As you look at this on a longer term basis, right, you could almost, and it's an art, not a science, folks. Let me line this up. We're going to need a little perpendicular work here. You were towards the higher end of that channel, and I wouldn't put that one as the authority, but you can see how it had negative action, and we've bucked that trend a bit. And you did it, and where did that begin? Yeah, right on that acceleration from last year like we're talking about. You accelerate on higher numbers. This is a monthly. Look at that ramp up, right? October, 480 million shares. Now, it's only November 17th, but we're at 240 million on the downside. But on a weekly basis, I like that ramp up. I like the pullback, and I like that we're coming into that huge volume high, and that high, 783. MicroStrategy, slightly in the green, 203. All right, check out Microsoft shares. Microsoft flat this morning, up by 30 pennies. Go back to a daily. Now look how Microsoft just been chopping around since the beginning of July, right? Really just oscillating around this 500, 510 area up to as high as 550 a couple occasions. We're back to the lower part of that 510 for Microsoft. Jump over to Apple shares. So there was a report in the Financial Times on Friday that Apple's ramping up preparations to identify and name a successor to CEO Tim Cook. Yeah. You better believe. Now, he was appointed CEO 14 years ago. It's a long time. Talking about almost a couple decades. August of 2011, folks. When this equity was trading at $12, $12 to $14. You're trading at $269. You jump over the Analyze tab. This is almost a $4 trillion company. They got about 15 billion shares outstanding. So he's taken a company, folks, that was worth about $300 billion, something like that. I'm sure I can look it up, right? But it's got 15 billion shares outstanding. Things change when you go over. You can't just multiply the shares times the price of a back history to get the valuation at that time. But about $300 billion to $4 trillion. It's a remarkable number that he's taken it. So, yeah, the market's going to be a little worried. Tesla up by 2.2%. Now, I jumped to those because what's remarkable is Tesla right now is a $1.4 trillion company. And you think about all the accolades that Tesla needs to reach for Elon to get his $1 trillion pay package, okay? And the argument's always made, well, nobody will lose out because everybody's making money if he makes that money, right? Opportunity cost is a real thing, folks, okay? Opportunity cost is a real thing, as they put it, okay? And you look at that company. Oh, we got a break coming up. We'll come right back, folks. Finish it.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. We talk about AI, and this is an interesting one from the Journal. I'll post this one in the Tigers Den. AI bubble worries in focus, and bond issuance by big AI tech companies. Yeah. How about pushing $100 billion? Now, the one that stuck out at me, and this is a long one, folks, so I'll post it in the Tigers Den. You can check it out. But you talk about Meta. Okay, we jump over to Meta shares. Under some heat recently, trading from 796 down to 610. Okay, it's been an extraordinary run from the lows of about $88. Back in 2022, 8809. There it is. Now, check this out. Hyperion Data Center, okay, being built in Louisiana. It's planned to be one of the largest data centers in the world. and this is just anecdotal from this article. I encourage you to check it out. I mean, they got Blue Owl Capital in here. You know, you're talking about $1 trillion spent on AI. Look at the size of this data center if you overlaid it over Manhattan, folks. It would be Manhattan. It's bigger than Midtown Manhattan, the entire data center. It's one of these things that, like, human minds struggle for exponential growth, right? The human mind probably is struggling right now to encompass actually how big the build out is going when you talk about this type of money and the infrastructure that's being spent. Yeah, that's just the Meta Hyperion data center, and take it from Louisiana and put it in Midtown Manhattan. And this is an article I pulled up from Bloomberg when I was just looking for that, and there's where you got it. Now, Zuckerberg shared this. Okay, so that's not some crazy AI generation. Zuckerberg's the one that shared that picture. Okay? But yeah, poof, you better believe. 5 gigawatt facility, Louisiana, and yeah, there it is over Midtown. So here we go, folks. All right, folks, thanks for tuning in, kicking off your trading day right here. Great to be back. Stay tuned. We got our man Basil Chapman filling in next. Thanks for filling in, Basil, while I was out. We got our man Steve Rhodes at 11 o'clock, Fast Market at 12, Larry at 1, and I'll be back at 3, folks. We're all here. Stay tuned. Basil's up next. Have a great Monday, folks. We'll see you at 3.